Last week we had a thrilling, exciting finish to the race at Spa-Francorchamps. The races in the Formula Renault 2.0 series, they are now moving on to the sand dunes of Zandvoort. And it's Friday night prime time here on RaceSpotTV with iRacingLive. We'll be coming up in just a few moments. Welcome back then to our Friday night primetime coverage here on RaceSpotTV, streaming on iRacingLive for the iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. My name's Paul Smith, alongside me is Randy Chenoweth once again, with Hugo Louis on the cameras. And well, as I said just earlier, Spa was an absolutely thrilling, exciting, dramatic finish. Will we see some more of the same? We'll have to wait and see, but Randy, Zandvoort here in the Netherlands, it's a different track and a completely different challenge for the drivers.
Yeah, it's really a completely different approach to Spa. Spa is somewhere where, although there is a lot of high-speed corners, you definitely want to get the car trimmed out due to the long straightaways such as Kemmel and the run down to Blanchemont. Here, there's not so many long straights, just the long front straightaway. And you could say the run from turn 3 to turn 6 is a pretty long and high-speed stretch as well. But here, we're going to expecting to see some high downforce setups and expecting to see people maybe get a little bit more strung out than we saw at Spa.
Absolutely. So the driver's just on there qualifying at the moment, and Stijn Schuttenhorst is at the front there. I do apologise. I completely butchered his name, so I do apologise there. With Julian Rodriguez Moreno currently in second place, and well, it's rather cool conditions. Okay, we've got mostly cloudy conditions. And well, the track temperature is 72 degrees Fahrenheit, so rather cold track conditions for the drivers today.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone will be loving the cold conditions. Zandvoort is stereotypically slick, and with the cooler conditions, that'll get the grip up a little bit more. And like you said, actually, Luzenhorst just picked Short Horse for pole. Let's be honest, this is gonna be a rough race for us, Paul, because we have Dutch corner names pronounced, and some of these driver names are not making it easy.
Absolutely, we will battle on through because we are professionals after all. But yeah, Martin van Loozenhoord here at the top of the timesheets for the time being. Well, they've got 2 laps to set the qualifying times here. You're looking at around 1 minute 30, 1 minute 31 lap for drivers. As Sebastian Job just sticks one in there, a 30.5. So Seb Job,
and Shorthorse picked Luzenhord as well. As did Moreno.
Well, this is it. With the Formula 2.0 car, you seem to get better and better times as you go along. It's usually about 7 or 8 laps before you see the fastest laps being made, but these tyres take a little bit of time to warm up, so we may see Van Loozenhoord, if he gets a good run into this final section, you might just be able to pip them. But, well, just getting a little bit loose on the exit of turn 12 there, and now through 13 onto the start and finish straight, heading down towards the start and finish line. Will Van Loozenhoord be able to improve his time? The answer is yes, he will. He goes top of the timesheet for the time being. The drivers are just finishing off their qualifying as Paolo Muay goes to the top of the timesheets now.
4,000ths of a second faster.
That's fantastic. It's showing that we have got close action here. You look at that, the first two, as you say, 4,000ths of a second third place is less than a tenth behind them, so it's really close times there at the top of the leaderboard, but well, all the drivers pretty much finishing their laps. There's Paul Ilbrick still out there at the moment, but he's currently in 22nd place with a 32.0. And we'll just wait for a couple of these drivers to finish their lap times before we go through the grid. But certainly this track, as you've said, it's not the high-speed track, it's more of a high downforce circuit, but there are a few blind apexes around here that can catch a few drivers out.
Yeah, there's some corners here that are very, very, very tricky. You got Shavak, turn 6, that fast downhill right-hander, as well as the turn 7, 8, and 9 sequencing corners, Marlboro, Renault, and Vodafone. They're all difficult, as well as the Audi S and Hundred. There's really a lot of difficult corners here, and the thing here is that there's a lot of corners that lead into another corner, so the way you get through one corner builds into the next, and it really is a very good flowing circuit. Very, very tight, though, and it's a track that a lot of drivers I know really do dislike.
As Ilbrink improves his time there up to 18th for 31.4, so an improvement from him. I'm just seeing if there's any more drivers out there. Rob Reed is there, so too is Joel Guez is out there, and he's just coming around towards the end of this technical section of the track. As you said, turn 7, 8 and 9. It really is a tough part of the track to get right. You can lose so much time through this section of track.
Yeah, he certainly can, but Joel Guez, he's a master of technical. I'm sure people have used his timing at before, so this might be right up his alley. It'll be interesting to see if he has enough time to get this lap done, though. Not much time left in the session.
Yeah, absolutely. Only about 15 seconds left on this
Actually,
session.
he's on lap 3. He's already ran his qualifying lap, so he's just warming up.
Ah, right, so he's just going around doing a bit of a warm-up then, so we'll look at the starting grid then for them, and it's Paul Moore at pole position with Martin van Loosnord second. Sebastian Job is in third, with Shorthorst in fourth, with Julian Rodriguez Moreno in fifth place. Tony Repoussard, I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Ian De Vrede is in seventh, with Justin Brunner in eighth. Jordi Lopez Jr. in 9th, with Mark Perez in 10th place. And, well, just looking at that top 10, you're looking at those sort of first 6 drivers all in the 130s. They're going to be the ones that we'll be thinking could possibly get the win today.
Yeah, they certainly could, and it really is going to be a tight grid. We have, I believe, the top 19 cars separated by a second or so in qualifying, so it really is very, very tight. Martin van Loosenhoort is going to be one to obviously look out for, our winner from Spa last week. And what's interesting to note, for those who saw that amazing end of the race battle at Spa last week, our P2 and P3 fighters of Wyatt Gooden and Graham Carroll are actually not here today.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're just waiting for the drivers to grid up here, getting ready for the start of this race. And it should be an interesting one. It's always a tight run through this first section, through Tarzan and to the turns 2 and 3 as well. It's always very tight that start the race, so hopefully there won't be any incidents here, but you never know with this track.
Yeah, that's certainly the case, as we're getting ready to go to the start. I think turn 1 and especially turn 2 and 3 here at the start is going to be where we need to watch for early incidents.
Yeah, so the drivers now getting all ready at the start here for this race. It's a 19-lap race here, and well, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be plenty of action here. 25 cars on the grid as they all get ready for the start of this race. The lights are going red, and we have got green, and away we go for the start of this race. And it is a good start from pole position for Mui, but well, Matt van Loosnord is right behind him. We've got jockeying for position behind as well. Are they all going to make it through this turn 1 through Tarzan? Cars running wide, still making it through though, so good work from everybody there to make it through 1 and into the turn 2. We've got a spinner at the back. Justin Brunner is involved there. There's a few more involved at the back as well, and well, this is what we feared would maybe happen, and it has happened here today for Justin Brunner. Also Simon Povey involved in that, and Joel Guez is running slow as well.
Yeah, that's certainly a 3 or 4 car pileup. Like I said, turn 2 or 3 is where we really need to watch. The track really does narrow up there quite a lot, and I mean, the track's narrow to begin with, and that it really goes to about one line, a line and a half in that section of the track, and they're trying to make it 2-3 wide. Definitely unfortunate to see an early incident like that.
Well, at the front, it's Moai in front with Shotthurst has made it past Van Loosenord, so he's in second place, but Van Loosenord is looking to the outside in towards the Audi S. And, well, will he be able to hold that outside line to then have the inside through the next part? Van Loosenord getting close. They go and touch and just losing a little bit of control. And right behind them is Sebastian Job. And Sebastian Job will take the opportunity. We've got a spinner over at the back there. Who was that? Was that Filosa? I think it was. So he's had a spin there. But, well, Van Loosenord just making a little bit of contact there with Shotthurst.
Yeah, he certainly did, and that was a big incident actually between Mark Perez and Silva. That was
spinner at the back! Who was that went round there? I think it might have been Sam Sutton there. Yes, it is. Sam Sutton losing control there. He got a wheel onto the grass on the exit of that final corner, and it's so easy to do that. And well, the car just bouncing, lost control, did very well to, just made slight contact with the barrier there on the inside, but did well to carry on there.
At the start of this race, it's certainly been drama-filled compared to last week at Spa. Last week at Spa with a pretty clean start of the race and pretty much clean all the way through up until the last lap. Here, there's been a lot more drama, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out over the course of this event. We saw Van Loosenhoort get into that early incident almost with with Shotthurst, and he really got away with murder a bit on that one. That could have been really, really bad for the P2 and P3 hunters.
And we've also got Moreno. He's dropping down the order all of a sudden. What's happened to him? He's had a spin. And that's coming out of turn 8. The Renault corner just goes over the curb there. Loses control of the back end. It makes the car jump. And, well, he's going to come back on, but he's all the way down in 20th place now.
Yeah, a lot of aggressive driving, and right there, he like you said, he took a bit too much to the curb. The rear end jumped up on him, lost all that rear grip, and while we mentioned it before, the cool conditions, there is a bit more grip than usual in this circuit. Still very, very slick compared to most.
And Loosenord, he's right up the gearbox now of Shotthurst as he has to protect that inside line into Tarzan. You can try and hang it out round the outside of Tarzan, but it's not an ideal line. And for the moment, Van Loosenord is having to hold back for the time being, but he's all over the back end of this car, and well, the more that these two battle, and the more that the leader has a chance to pull away. But Moore is actually being pulled in a little bit by second place man Shotthurst.
Yeah, he certainly has. No one's really getting away here, and we talked about it last. They're going to go side by side into turn 6 in the back. That's a very, very rough corner to go side by side, and especially for the lead.
Almost overlapping. Yeah, Shotthurst is off, but he's back onto the track ahead of Sebastian Job. That was very close for Job there actually, but able to carry on. So Van Loosenord up to second, but going side by side through that turn 6, it's not the easiest thing to do, and it just showed it right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of aggressive driving going on right now, and I would really like to see a lot of these drivers just calm it down just a little bit. They're fighting hard, they're making mistakes. I think that was a bit of a silly move there by Stuygen on lap 2 of this race to try to go side by side in such a difficult corner. And if you get it wrong there, you can just flat out end your race. I just think that was a bit over aggressive for the early runnings.
Coming through this final turn once again, and Van Loosenord has just pulled out a little bit of a gap. Now a half a second gap ahead of Shotthurst, so it's done well to recover. As we'll look further back, the battle for 5th place. You've got 3 drivers battling away around the outside. Who was that? Tony Repsert has tried to go around the outside, but here comes Bolbukasi. I'll get this right sometime, I do apologise as well. He holds on to that 5th place, but Tony Repsert is still in that 6th place, but Jorge Lopez Jr. now in 7th place. He's looking all over the back of him as well. He's got a battle there, but at the front we've also got Van Loosenord. He's closed right up now from 2nd place. Paolo Moa is, having to hang on, locking up the brake into the Renault turn, and round they go. And, still, Van Loosenord, it's not really an overtaking spot around this part of the track, but you can maybe make a move down towards the Audi S.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. The Audi S can be a difficult place to pass because when you're on the inside of one place, you're on the outside of the very next corner. So it is generally a single line corner. We're actually seeing a bit of a 4-car breakaway here. They have about a 3 to 4 second lead, if not more, over Sembolski's top 4 cars. And then we actually see another 4-car train just behind him from Tony Rupthard all the way back to Arjen de Vries. And on the run down to turn 1, Paulo Mulo is going to make the move up the inside. Let's see if he's able to make it stick. And he is not going to be able to. Actually, no, Lusenhord made that move around the outside. Excuse me. The colors are a little similar. I got them mixed up. Van Lusenhord went to the point. I think we lost Paul here with a little bit of technical difficulties as Mulo gets shuffled back now down to P2. And Steven Shortworth, who really after that early incident worked himself back up well to stay on the rear gearbox of Lusenhord for a while. It's amazing to see if Lusenhord can stretch out a gap here, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm back. Don't worry, you haven't lost me. Van Lusenhord then in the lead. Moore in second place, and they'll be hoping to keep up with Van Lusenhord because he does look quick at this phase of the race at the moment. We have got 15 laps remaining. Sebastian Job looking down the inside of Stein Schotthorst. Well, that's for third place. Sebastian trying to get that place, and a lot of locking brakes there from Polo. Who's trying to make it through this section, this tight, twisty 7, 8 and 9 section, and well, the unloaded front tyre of Sebastian Job just having a look. He's trying to make his presence known, and Schotthorst at the moment keeping to hold on.
Yeah, Sebastian's someone who's willing to throw it up the inside if he's there, or if he thinks the space is there, and he's thought about it a couple times on this lap, but actually Sebastian goes off. He pushes a little hard, gets a couple tires on the grass. Luckily he doesn't spin, just loses himself a couple seconds of time on the track, but I think that's just another case where we're seeing drivers really push too hard in these early goings for these early laps, and they're ended up losing themselves a lot of ground or a lot of spaces as opposed to moving themselves forward.
Battle for 6th place. Jordi Lopez Jr. is trying to go around the outside here of Tony Reposad, and well, still going on, but behind them also you've got Bruno Docamo and Ian de Vries, and they're battling away as well. This is a 4-car train here, all for 6th place at the moment, as they've gone through that twisty section and now through these high-speed turns of 4, 5 and 6. Really, there's not really an overtaking spot around here, but he's going to have a look anyways. Jordi Lopez Jr. down the inside. Will they make contact? No, they won't. They decide to just hang back for the time being, does Jordi, but this battle intensifying for 6th place.
They certainly have. We saw a similar move attempted from Schotthorst onto Mula, and that one ended up in tears essentially for Schotthorst. This one they were able to get it done clean, but this group of 4 cars, they're really fighting hard right now, trying to scrap for position at all. As Jordi actually gets to run on Tony Rupthard on the outside, he's going to be on the outside of the Audi corner, but he's going to be on the inside for Hunter if he can hold it. However, he's just going to slot back in line and hold position.
Well, we've seen how difficult it is to overtake there, and what was that position? That Sebastian Job has moved up a place, so Kem, something's happened there to Schotthorst there.
Yeah, he did. He spun in the Audi S. Yeah, that's car number 21. He just self-spun. That was again, I think maybe.
He caught
the curb, and I think that's just another case. People just pushing a little bit too hard for every little thing they can. They're taking some big risks right now, trying to get everything, and he's lost himself 3 to 4 positions in the process.
He did really well to not collect the car of Kem Olkbasi, because that was very close there when he rejoined the track, but able to carry on. He's down to 5th place now since Schotthorst, where he got up to 2nd place at the start of this race. So just losing a couple of places, so he wants to just get his head down and just get back in the flow of things and not let it bug him too much, because when you make mistakes, generally you make more mistakes trying to make up for it.
Yeah, that can certainly be the case, and the last thing you want to do is make mistakes and then keep pushing hard and end up making more, because really that'll just frustrate you more and more. And in the poker world, they refer to it as going on tilt. And if you go on tilt driving one of these race cars, you can see it has disastrous consequences. We saw it for the first 3 or 4 laps. We had a 4-car train for the lead, and now it's just basically Lusenhord and Mula, and the gap to 3rd is up to 6 seconds.
course, we've got a replay of the start as well, with cars pretty much staying out of trouble. Just a few ended up with a few incidents. Justin Brunner and Simon Povey being involved. I can tell you that Stian Schotthorst has made it back up to 4th place now, so he's made the position up. Sebastian Job is trying to break the draft there down the pit straight as they head towards Tarzan Corner. And, well, for the time being, he's got a second lead over Schotthorst, but Job is 5.6 seconds behind the lead too.
Yeah, and I was just, like I said, I think that's a creature of the driving we saw. I think if they would have held position, I think they would have been up there with Lugenhort and Mula. And obviously you want to get around your competition if you can, but sometimes you're better off just holding station and just keeping toe with those lead pack, because they don't have a huge... Lugenhort and Mula, they're not hugely faster than Job Schotthorst. They're really a good chunk of the rest of the field. It's just mistakes that shuffled those cars back in the grid.
Julian Rodriguez Moreno trying to recover after that early spin. He's got past Rob Reed at the start of this lap, and he's all over the back of Cy Andre. So that is a battle for 18th place at the moment between those two. But still, we've got the battle towards the front as well. We've got Schotthorst dropping down the field. What's happened to him now? He's in the pits. He's had an accident.
Made another mistake.
Take it away, Randy.
Yeah, he was going through turn... I'm trying to find what corner that was.
Turn 9.
9. Yeah, the Vodafone hairpin. He got himself spun and a car got into him. I think that was the car number of... I'm looking for it. Tony Rupser got into him, and that's just race over for both of them. So we saw Schotthorst. I mean, he had very good pace. He qualified well, but in the span of 8 laps, he's self-spun, I think, 3 times now and cost himself really a very good finish.
Bruno Ducamo also got involved in that. He ended up making a little bit of contact there with Rapphurst, with Rapphurst's car. Just mounting his car a little bit there, but serious damage for those two as well. But Ducamo able to keep going, but yeah, he's lost a lot of ground there now on the battle ahead.
Yeah, definitely not ideal for him. He's going to be looking to battle back. As we look back towards the battle for the lead here, Martin van Lugenhort has been able to stretch about a 1-second gap over Paula Mula, and we saw this at Spa last week. Lugenhort, when he was behind other cars, he really struggled to be able to get past. However, when he did get past, he was really able to stretch a lead in a very consistent manner. He didn't make very many mistakes. And when he eventually got that lead at Spa, as we saw last week, he really stretched the gap on Wyatt and Graham. And it looks like he's going to be doing the same here on Mula.
Absolutely. It's a little bit more spread out this week than what we had last week. We haven't got the long slipstreaming sections, but still plenty of exciting action going on. We've got a huge train of cars at the moment. As down at the Audi S, we've got several drivers all battling away for 10th, 9th position. So it's a long queue of cars here, down to 15th, so 9th to 15th. They're all covered by about 3 or 4 seconds here, so pretty close action further back there. As one of the cars having a look down the inside. Who is that? It's a white...
David Jarvis onto
Paul
Ilbrink. Paul Ilbrink actually going through the Audi S here. He was leading this train, got himself a little loose, and got cycled back these 2 positions. Jarvis is going to be looking up the inside here, going into Huxenholtz, and he's going to be on the outside. He doesn't quite hold it, and that's tight with the car behind of Klaus Ellenbrand, almost getting into the back of David Jarvis. Ellenbrand had to check up a little bit. Now Sebastian Filosa might be having a look as well as they run down into turn 6.
And this is what happens. It's a bit of a knock-on effect. You have to brake hard to avoid an accident, and that just brings the other car behind you right into that battle. And we're seeing that with Filosa at the moment, right onto that gearbox of Klaus Ellenbrand at the moment.
Yeah, the accordion effect definitely can take a huge effect when you get into these sorts of situations where you have trains of cars. Everyone has to check up, and sometimes there can be a big beneficiary of that towards the back, depending on if the timing is good. And a good beneficiary of this racing right now has been John Allett. He's been able to get a little bit closer, and this 3 or 4 car train has turned into about 6 or 7. We're talking about a train of cars all the way from P15 up to about P8, P9. So really a 6 or 7 car train here going through the middle of the field. And looking back up to the middle of the pack, Martin van Lugenhort, I talked about him being able to stretch that gap at Spa. In the past 2 past two laps since I've mentioned it, he stretched the gap another 0.8 of a second over Paulo Mula.
And Sebastiano Filosa is looking. He's going to look down the inside into Tarzan. He's going to be late onto the brakes, but not able to make the move down the inside, but still carry the apex speed. And they're going to go side by side here with Klaus Ellenbrand and into this tight right-hander. There's not a lot of room through this section. And well, they're still going side by side. Just runs a little bit wide of the apex there. Not able to carry the speed through turn 3 there, so through Hugenholtz. But still staying behind is Filosa. But these two just battling away, and you feel that Filosa has got the pace as looking down the inside into 6 now. Not really an overtaking manoeuvre there. We can see what's happened in the past in this race through that turn 6. But at the moment, Filosa just needs to be a little bit patient. You feel he's got the opportunity into Tarzan, that's for sure. Maybe have a look into the Audi S.
Filosa definitely has the pace, and I think he might be a little bit in Ellenbrand's head here. Going through turn 1, Filosa was, as we got a car off. Who is that?
It's Jürgen Frank.
Jürgen Frank, who's actually the winner of that iRace for Belgium race we hosted earlier on in the week. There was an accident between him and it was a red and green car of Lionel Gambit. I think Jürgen got a little bit of loose exiting the Vodafone hairpin. Oh no, there was no contact at all. That was simply a self-spin. My apologies to Lionel.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jürgen Frank there just losing control of the car. It's so easily done here because, as you said earlier, it is a slippery track, and if you get on that power a little bit too fast, then it can cause you problems. As Ilbrink is now battling away with Lionel Gamet, who's actually Gamet has made it past. He's made it past Gamet into Tarzan there, so up to 9th place. And Ilbrink, he's on a little bit of a mission here. He's been fighting his way through some of the crowd here, and he's now up to 9th place.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier going through the Audi S. He was leading the train and got a little loose and lost a few spots. He's since been able to regain that. It's interesting, though, to me that we've seen all of our successful passing moves happen down on the run into turn 1, and we still see people occasionally trying to make it too wide through turn 6 and occasionally into turn 7 in the Audi S. This certainly seems to me the way the cars are working. You just want to stay single file and wait until you can get a good run off of turn 13 and then down into turn number 1.
So we have lost 6 cars already. Simon Purver, Justin Brunner, Sam Sutton, Stein Schotthurst, Tony Repsard and Jürgen Frank all out of this race already. So down to 19 runners in this motor race here, and we have 7 laps remaining, so we're over halfway now. Matt Van Loosenhoorn out the front at the moment, 2.1 seconds ahead of Paulo Mouet, with Sebastian Job in that 3rd place, slowly gaining on him, but not gaining enough to be able to make that gap up, you would think, towards the end of this race. Ken Bollock-Bassett, we said we didn't really mention him last race. He finished 4th last race, he's 4th again. So he's on his own here, just doing his own thing. Ian DeFred, he's in 5th place, 2.1 seconds behind him. And Jordi Lopez Jr. in 6th place with Matt Perez right behind him.
Yeah, certainly are. This is really, I think, the close battle on track right now between Marc Perez and Jordi Lopez. We talked about Cam last week. Well, we didn't talk about Cam last week, coming P4. And again, he's really kept himself out of the drama, and he's gotten himself up to 4th. And really, if we look at this, he started P11 and got himself up to P4. And really, I think that might just be the effect of the calm, cool driving style. The fact that we're not talking about him means that he's not getting into trouble. However, if you look at a lot of the names that have run out, they're people we were really talking about at the start of this race that are now out of the race, such as Stuyden Showhorse. We were talking about him the first 4 to 5 laps, and look where it got him. It got him a DNF.
Absolutely, in this battle with Perez now, he's right up behind Jordi Lopez Jr. and coming through turns 12 and now through 13. It's all important to get the run through here, to get that draft all the way down the pit straight as you head towards the Tarzan corner at turn 1, looking left and right. I don't think that's going to do you much good moving about that much, really. You're going to lose a little bit of speed doing that, but looking wide there goes Jordi Lopez, but able to stay on the track. I thought he maybe was going to run a little bit too far wide then, but as I say, able to hold it on round this turn 3 through Hugenholtz corner. And well, the front tyre, the front left tyre, it's unloaded there, it comes up in the air and it just locks and just gives a little puff of smoke, and really, you know, it doesn't really affect the tyre wear too much, just doing something like that.
Yeah, Hugenholz is very tight, but it is slightly banked, and because of that, that left side can really get unloaded. Easy to lock up there, or even just barely pick it up in the air. However, Mark Perez, we've seen him harassing the mirrors here of Jordi Lopez, and we saw Lopez make that mistake in turn 1. I think Mark here just needs to keep doing that. Just occasionally show the nose. You don't have to throw down on the inside. Just show the nose, and I think he might be able to push Lopez into making another mistake. As right now, looking back to the front of the field, Martin van Loosenhoorn has checked out.
Paul Ilbrink has made a mistake down at turn 8, down at Renault corner, and has lost him the position. He just locked up, got onto the on the curb on the inside, which unsettled the car, sent him wide, and that was, thank you very much, Lionel Gamay back through the inside there to take that 9th place back. So Paul Ilbrink, once again, having to do all the hard work and catching up and then trying to overtake for that 9th place.
Yeah, we've seen several cars now spin over that, or almost spin, as we're getting a fight now between Lopez and Perez, and Perez he's right on the gearbox when he comes down into Kumho, and it's going to be interesting to see. Turn 13 here is where you need to get the run. You need to enter wide, you need to hit the apex, you need to be able to stay flat as much as you can. He's going to run out wide, and I think he got himself the run. He's going to be taking a look up the inside going down into turn 1 here, I think. He's very, very close as he's been yet, and this lap he's going to decide to stay out of it.
Yeah, so Jordi Lopez and of course Mark Perez just working their way through the back section of this track now, through 6, 7 and 8, and well, still not able to make any moves around here as Lopez just runs out a little bit wide out of turn 8 there, and well, it's not really let Perez just drop back a little bit on this lap. He's dropped back to about 0.7 of a second, so it's not quite as close this time around. There are 5 laps remaining, and as you say, Martin van Loosenhoorn is way out front. He is 2.9 seconds ahead of Polo Moai, with Sebastian Job still in that 3rd place, but 4.3 seconds behind that 2nd place driver. So you're not really going to see them move there, but this battle's still going on for this 6th place. Jordi Lopez Jr. and Mark Perez. Lopez Jr. that last lap did a 30.8 and Perez a 31.1, so losing about 0.3 of a second there, Perez, on that lap.
Yeah, it's definitely not something he wants to do. He was able to get in that draft down the front straight. There was enough that he was able to bring that gap back
side
up.
Side by side at turn 1, David Jarvis and Sebastiano Filosa, and they're still going side by side into 2. Jarvis has got the inside line here, but he's going to have the outside into 3, and well, he's locked up, he's run a bit wide there, and that's going to allow Klaus Ellenbrand to have the run now. So Filosa has made it through, and Ellenbrand is now trying to get onto the gearbox of Jarvis. Jarvis just making a little bit of a mistake there through 3, but he's now trying to keep in that draft of Filosa, the car in front, but still having to hold back, and he's in 12th place now, so lost that 1 place.
Yeah, and that's never good. I think we're going to see this battle really kick off here in the closing laps. We saw them be really, really aggressive early, and they since have kind of calmed it down. And I think once we get to the closing stage of this race, we might see the side-by-side action throughout the middle part of the lap again. As I'm going to look back towards the battle between Perez and Lopez. And again, Lopez has just stretched that gap out again throughout the middle stage of this lap. It'll be interesting to see what Perez is able to do down that front straightaway, whether or not he might be running a lower downforce trim, trying to be able to pass going into 1.
Oh, Jarvis just ran a little bit wide, couldn't get on the power quite as good through Audi, but able to hook up turn 12 really well. So I wonder if he's running a little bit of a different downforce setup to Klaus Ellenbrand. And as you say, there's so many different varieties of setup you can do, and you look behind them, yeah, Moreno and Sayandre have caught up to this pack, so because of all the battling that's going on between these 3, it's allowed those 2 to catch up in 14th and 15th.
Yeah, if they keep staying like this battle between 3 is going to turn into a battle between 5. We have Julian Rodriguez Moreno and Sal Andres. Sal Andres is really one of the very, very fast drivers in that Star Mazda. And basically they're there. This is a 5-car battle at this point. And really what what I want to see here happen is Sebastian Pelosa needs to be able to run clean here to the rest of this race and not make a mistake. Because if he makes a mistake, he's going to be under threat by 4 cars. This is his chance now where he can just check out, and he's already started to stretch a gap over the car of David Jarvis, who's currently under threat from Klaus Ellenbrand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all this pressure on David Jarvis is allowing Pelosa to make this little bit of a gap here. He's got about a 0.6 of a gap at the moment, and he is trying to pull away from them, but David Jarvis doing a good job trying to keep up with them as they head towards the Audi S now. Once again, we've got 2 laps remaining in this race. It's Martin van Loosenhoed who's gone across the line, 2.8 seconds ahead of second place man Polo Muay with Job in 3rd place. But it's this battle here for 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th and 15th that really is the closest battle at the moment, because Lopez and Perez have pretty much just settled for the time being. It's these 4, so well, the car behind has dropped back. Andre has dropped back.
I was actually just about to cut in there, going through the Audi S.
Oh, Jarvis! Jarvis
David Jarvis is barely making a move.
No, he's run wide into Tarzan, and that's allowed Ellenbrand to pull through on the inside. Jarvis under pressure now from Moreno. Moreno trying to look all the way around the outside there of Hugenholtz. Not able to make that move stick, but he's got the better run now as they go through 4, 5 and into 6. And well, Jarvis having to do a sterling job trying to hold Moreno back, but here comes Moreno down the inside into 6. We've seen people try and make that move stick. It's not worked again. It's not, as we've been saying all race, it's not really an overtaking spot, but Moreno, he can see those 2 ahead of him pulling away, and he's trying to think, I need to get past as soon as possible to tag on to the back of them.
Now we're going to be coming to the white flag lap here. It's actually Martin van Loosenhoed is actually coming to take the white flag right now. Just to update on Sale Andre, he almost spun going through the Audi S, which is why we see him not on the back of that battle anymore. And he's several seconds back, and we're really going to need to watch Julian here. Oh, is there side by side?
Oh, I was really close. It was good work from Julian Rodriguez Moreno to hold back from that, not make contact. But you do believe that he's getting a little bit desperate here to try and get the move. Jarvis runs wide, he loses control there, and that's allowed Moreno through. Well, all that pressure is told in the end, and David Jarvis now down to that 14th place.
Certainly great pressure put on there by Julian. As we look back toward the front for this battle between Lopez and Perez, this pretty much got itself situated. Perez is there, however, he's about half a second back, and it's going to be very, very difficult for him to be able to make a move here. I believe they're coming up on lap traffic of Argent de Vries. Actually, no, that's a car for position that's only a couple seconds up the road, but again, he's somewhat out of it. Looking to the front, though, Martin van Loosenhoed, he's coming up to the Audi S's now, and really, unless he makes a mistake, he's got this in the bag, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. 3.4 second lead he's got as he heads into this Audi S. The right and then the tight left around. It's pretty much 180 degrees around that left-hander. And now as you head towards turn 12 Kumo, and well, he has pretty much got this in the bag. He just has to make it cleanly through 13 now, but we've seen people make mistakes on the exit of 13, but around he comes. And Martin van Loosenhoed, for the 2nd week in the row, is going to win the race on Friday night prime time on RaceSpotTV, streaming on iRacingLive. Fantastic work from Martin van Loosenhoed. Not the photo finish that we had last week, but Polo Muay coming in 2nd place, with Sebastian Job coming across the line now in 3rd. Kem Bolotbassi in 4th place, with Ian David in 5th place, Jordi Lopez Jr. in 6th, with Matt Perez in 7th. They were all able to sort themselves out. David Jarvis has got Andre right behind him, but it's going to be a little bit too late for Andre. Jarvis is going to have to go defensive as they go across the line here, and well, across the line they go. And it was only 600ths of a second between them as they went across the line. So really close there from David Jarvis, but ended up finishing in 14th.
Yeah, definitely a good late race battle there. It's unfortunate we lost a lot of those front runners at the early stage of this race. That could have been a very, very good finish. But again, very, very well driven by Martin van Loosenhoed to be able to get himself out to that 3.5 or so second lead and be able to really hold it once that early pressure was gone, and once he got himself to the lead, as we saw him qualifying in P2.
So yeah, what we'll do is we will take you through your results. And well, Martin van Loosenhoed is the man who won this race, 3.4 seconds ahead of Polo Muay. in second place. Sebastian Job finishing in third with Ken Boltbassi in fourth, only about 2.5 seconds behind, so good work from him again. Ian De Vried in fifth with Jordi Lopez Jr. in sixth. Mark Perez pushing him all the way to the end, but not able to get that position into seventh. Bruno Ducamo, we saw him have that incident earlier on in the race, but able to finish eighth. Lionel Game in ninth, able to hold off Paul Ulbrink, who finished in 10th place. Sebastiano Filfosa in 11th place with Klaus Ellenbrand in 12th. Julian Rodriguez Moreno in 13th with David Jarvis in 14th. Sayandre in 15th place with John Allett in 16th. Rob Reed finished in 17th place with Joel Goes in 18th place. One lap down was Norbert Sulzer in 19th place, and then your drivers who didn't finish: Jürgen Frank, Tony Repsard, Stein Schotthorst, who we saw battling for the lead early on in this race, Sam Sutton, Justin Brunner and Simon Povey all getting involved in that first corner incident. And well, Randy, it wasn't the thrilling edge of your seat stuff that we had last week, but it was still a good race here.
Yeah, it was certainly a good battle, and really we saw some better battling down to the bottom part of the grid than we did last week. Some things I want to talk about: Showhorse, I think, could really be a threat to win one of these races later on in the season. However, he really needs to just keep up his consistency. We saw him, I think he got a little anxious, trying to stay close, trying to get the lead, and it cost him his position several times and eventually cost him the race. I think if he can keep himself calm, he could be a very, very huge threat here in the future.
Absolutely, and next week we see the Formula Renaults go on to the Phillip Island circuit, which should be, well, it's slipstream heaven there, certainly down the front straightaway there. We could see plenty of action once again there, Andy.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of action that can happen at Phillip Island. You have the high-speed stretch with turn 1, and then really once you get through turns 3 and down into turn 4, it starts turning very, very tight. So really, in a lot of ways, somewhat like Zandvoort stylistically, with the long front straightaway for good passing, and then getting the tight run through the middle of the circuit, Paul.
Absolutely. So that's it for our second Friday night prime time here on RaceSpotTV, streaming on iRacingLive. Matt Van Loosnord, it's 2 from 2 here in the iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, and we'll see you once again next week at 8:45 for yet another exciting race in this Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. I've been Paul Smith from Randy Chenoweth and from Hugo Louise. Not to forget our good friends Anwan Designs and Istvan Balor as well for their help in bringing this broadcast to you. It's good night from all of us here at Zandvoort. Goodbye.